What a day it's been here at the HGC, here day 3 on our 3rd weekend of the entire tournament / league. I'm Trixler. Caleris, how are you, man?
Apparently staring into cameras is what I've just discovered during the break.
At least you look good doing it, right?
I suppose so. I could replicate the smoldering
right
look,
now.
but
the people love it. Just give it a look. Here you go. Look at that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
even with the eyebrow.
That is nice. The evil charming here. Standings, guys, after we just saw our last matchup. Where are our teams currently sitting at? Here at the very top, Misfits 4-0, Fnatic 4-1 on the heels of the Misfits. Team Dignitas 3-1 now as they slightly go up as Expert starts to fall with their 3-2. So now our top 3 is officially our top 3, as we've seen all throughout 2016, but here in 2017, they are doing the same.
Yes, yes, yes. So what we were going to say was if Expert were to have won that could have just absolutely changed everything.
Destroyed everything.
But that's not going to be the case. Fnatic does solidify themselves. And now we move on to a different point where, whilst we had everyone fighting for spots for Katowice, we fight for survival now.
Man versus video games. Let's find out what Synergy and Tricked Esports thinks about today's matchup.
Like, they're a Russian team, and Russian teams are known for doing unexpected things, and they're playing very aggressive as far as, like, from what I saw in the qualifiers and what I've seen from their previous games. So I think it will be a very scary game, since we will not be able to expect anything from them.
Я думаю, что Tricked интересная команда. Мне нравится, что Алекс Запров вернулся в игру, и он свой опыт принес в этот состав и как бы усилил его, поэтому я думаю, что у них хорошие шансы на то, чтобы выходить в топ-4 в Европе.
I think that they're going to go into the Crucible, and I think if they're lucky, they're going to be above the table. But I'm leaning more towards, especially in my team, we're probably not going to look at them as a big threat, and I think that they're going to mostly be like an opponent that we're going to just mostly look towards, it's going to be a free win.
Здесь немножко все сложнее. Новая команда Алекса, которая называется сейчас Tricked, у них немножко ситуация посложнее, чем у остальных команд, так как команда собралась довольно тоже непродолжительным сроком перед квалификациями. У них также были проблемы с составом. Ну и, в принципе, команда такая, что очень сильно давит на мораль. То есть, если у кого-то мораль просядет, особенно у капитана, то игра может просто посыпаться. А это очень важно сейчас в командной игре в Хотсе.
The point about morale being brought up is actually a big deal here for Tricked Esports. Their morale has to be at an all-time low, currently 0-4. Last time we watched them play, they were actually up 2-0 against the playing Ducks, and then they picked Cho'Gall in Game 3, and it all just went downhill from there.
Yeah, it did slightly crumble. I would say that as much as I think that they may have taken a little bit of a hit to morale, they had to go up against the big 3. That is very difficult here in Europe, for sure. Alex is a guy that can have emotions affect his game. Sometimes in a good way, sometimes in a bad way. You know, we told that story way back where, well, I say way back, like 2 weeks ago.
Way back in the day.
Oh, that was so long ago.
We're a young casting pair.
Now look what we've got to. Where, you know, even when he was a championship winner, he would still kind of analyze his own play and be a little bit down on it. So hopefully they kind of keep it together here, because I think they have a good shot against Team Synergy.
Gotta agree with you. Well, let's find out where we're going for game number 1. The Battleground phase has begun. Our bans for today will be Infernal Shrines as well as Tomb of the Spider Queen. Now, the first map that we are going to is Vrax's Holdout, picked up by Synergy. And, oh man, immediately I start thinking Rexar again. They've been trying so hard to get the Rexar going.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this matchup. Really, I'm looking at the 2 heroes here, Thernal and Hydra, to be the playmakers for both teams. So Thernal has been outstanding for Tricked Esports, and then Hydra on the other side has been picking multiple heroes for the good of his team. We've seen him on the Vikings. We've seen him on Rexar in the past for a game or 2. And this guy is just such a young buck, it feels like. He just really brings a lot to this team.
The Young Bucks.
The Young Buck.
The whole team, the Young Bucks.
Young Bucks.
Well. But the thing is that I agree with you. I think that Rexar definitely could come out, but we saw a team like Misfits even ban out Rexar on Dragonshire, which isn't as strong a map for Rexar. It's strong, but it's not as strong a map as Brax's Holdout is,
Agreed.
of course.
Agreed. So I'm ready to see what Synergy will pull out here on Brexit's holdout. It's kind of weird. The more I watch Synergy, the more I get like full soccer mom. I really care for them, you know? I would go out of my way if I was in Russia and go pick them up in the minivan and take them to the little land and make sure they were fed. Because they're a team that I just really just kind of back up here with. I love the aggressive play they have. I love what they bring to the game. I just hate their late game. I despise it. They need to get to a point where they actually end the game at some point. You
That's
know?
some intense
I
feelings
know.
right
That's
there.
a big jump right there, right?
That got from like, that escalated quickly. I
love the early game. I love their middle game, but in the late game, be more precise. Get a kill or two. They were so close against the Misfits a couple of times. Here against Tricked eSport, I need that aggression. So, ban from Tricked eSport will be the immediate task that our Synergy will now have their choice here for their ban.
All right, so let's see, because Synergy here, if they're going to focus down on an ETC, I think that's totally fine. You know, kind of take some of the wind out of the sails here of Tricked eSport that has focused so much on heavier warrior compositions or very light warrior compositions. I just like the idea of them sticking to double warrior. You mentioned it as well in the key to the game of like having Tychus behind that double warrior.
Yeah.
And I think they would be in such a solid spot.
You look at Synergy, and I think a Burst of Flames with their playstyles. Tricked eSport is more controlled. They're more of a cold environment. They slow the game down to their tempo until they make a play that occurs. So that should be one of the main things they focus on, again, for this matchup. I would stay more away from the triple lineups. They've tried it multiple times. It just does not work. If they get a pick off in the late game, their team just crumbles so quickly. Tricked eSport will go for the immediate pickup on Gul'dan. And this is a battleground where that pickup can be warranted. The wave clear is substantial.
Yeah, not as common a pickup compared to on other maps. That earlier Gul'dan, even on this map, this earlier Gul'dan is not common as, let's see what Synergy is going to do. I would like to see them take Tychus, to be honest with you. I think that, considering that Gul'dan's gone, and that's one of Neon's strong heroes, especially on a map like this, Tychus or Li Ming for Neon would be cool.
What do you think about taking
there we go.
The Ariel? Well, they grabbed Tychus and Malfurion, but now Tricked eSport's in a spot where they can take the incredible combination of Gul'dan Ariel, which is wonderful on this battleground. Neon has ran Chromie in the past, so that could be one of the counter strategies they have available for them here. But Tychus and Malfurion now set up. Looking over to Tricked eSport, we now have Gul'dan. And then, so I wouldn't mind seeing Ariel here, and then one of their top laners that they would like to see, because that'll be the next pickup for Synergy.
I'm still thinking, because you've piqued my interest with the Oriel. I'm always so scared of it, though, because you just don't have the cleanse.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what have you got? You're against yourself.
Well, if you have a strong top lane, and then you have Ariel and Gul'dan in the bottom lane, theoretically, you shouldn't have a problem controlling the map, which means you shouldn't have a problem with cleanse if you have your positioning set up. So that could be the choice here. Dahaka Falstad will be the take here for Tricked eSport. They get their top laner, but they also get a Falstad, so they're going more global-based.
Yeah, so I like the Dahaka. The Falstad is a lot of them just trying to control the map, which is cool. I think that that can definitely work. And also, the fact that they have Dahaka means that I feel like we're, at this point, with Gul'dan and Falstad, we're pretty much guaranteed to see a two-warrior lineup, and that is exactly where I want Tricked eSport to be.
Gotta agree with you. Is it going to be the Tyrael with Dahaka, Gul'dan, and Falstad? Could see it. Seems to be a go-to. I wouldn't mind actually having Dahaka Arthas instead, though. Having more meaty frontline.
True.
And then you have a setup for Falstad with the Mighty Gus if you ever get to a spot where it doesn't work out too well for you. And you also have that front line that can protect your Gul'dan that will want to be in the back, dropping those Echo Corruptions and, of course, those Fell Flames.
I think you just ban Rehgar. I think that then you force Tricked eSport into a spot where they're kind of taking... I don't think they would take a Brightwing. Ooh, Tyrael. Okay, no, okay, so a second Warrior ban out is cool as well. Ignore my support rant then. Let's go with just the Tyrael. That's nice. Hey!
There's that Rexar. Synergy known for the Rexar in the top lane, and he can be quite the nuisance to deal with, even for a Dahaka, believe it or not, especially with certain talents being built out.
What's funny is that I wouldn't even mind them letting through the Rexar and then having the second Warrior, because Tyrael was banned out, be Leoric. And then Leoric going one-on-one against Rexar. Like, if you hit Drain Hopes onto that bear, there's not a whole lot poor little Misha can do. And then you do hold that lane. But, yeah.
Okay, well, Synergy now on their side. They are going to need a top laner against Dahaka. Ragnaros is still available, and they have ran Ragnaros multiple times. Would like to see them get their warrior now before Trick Esports gets their choice out.
I think you are on the money. I would like warrior and Ragnaros. I think that Ragnaros does well on this map. We talked about the dynamics of this map's top lane compared to like Dragonshire's top lane, where the Q from Ragnaros is getting more value in the 1v1 fight because the minions are almost always there, whereas things like Dragonshire, you have to be bouncing up towards the shrine.
So Rag and Murden? Oh, Murden and Jaina will be the choice here for Synergy, which gives Trick Esport a chance here on the 4th and 5th pick to select what they would like. I'm expecting another warrior. They could go Ragnaros, but a bit scary. However, he could be a bit of a bruiser, so Trick Esports needs to make a decision now. I am very surprised that Ragnaros has made it this far down the draft, though.
The Jaina leaves them in this weird air of uncertainty, where technically, if Zeratul or Rag comes in as the last choice for Synergy, both cause issues. And both go with Jaina quite nicely, and the roots, of course. So Trick Esport, you need a healer. So I personally would like Rehgar, but if they do go Oriole, God, they would have no plans at all. Yeah,
Oriole becomes scary against the Jaina, and then the potential of what the 5th could be. I think I agree. You go Rehgar here for safety.
You could go Oriole Zarya. And then you later on down the line have some access to little bits of cleanse, but they're going to go Johanna as their second warrior, which I don't mind. And Oriole will come along.
Okay, so they get their combination of Gul'dan and Oriole. Last pick here, Zeratul. I wouldn't mind Diablo either. That'll give you a really strong bottom lane.
You brought this up in one of our previous shows where Johanna actually enables a little bit more of Oriole because of Iron Skin.
It's true. Yeah.
So she, at the front, it feels a little bit more protected and not requirement as much on that cleanse.
The question is whether or not Synergy right now can hold the pressure of Dahaka that Johanna can bring, and Dahaka as well with those flanks. I think another warrior would help him out, but I do see the strength in Zeratul. However, with it only being a 2-lane map, not as powerful. I actually wouldn't mind having the Diablo here. Just Diablo, Muradin, Malfurion, Tychus, Jaina, Ring of Frost.
I'd still like Ragnaros to have that solo lane pressure. He kind of, for me, fits all the holes that they have currently.
Sure.
There's a little bit of combo potential behind it, and then he is good in the solo lane. If they really want to not have more damage and more double warrior, they could go Leoric for that.
Nubrak, wow.
That works too, I suppose.
It's good against Gul'dan, but
there's a slight problem, whereas if he does burrow into like a Gul'dan, and then Gul'dan is saved by something like Crystal Aegis, then he has no real way to get out of the impending damage that will come out of Crystal Aegis. He would have to just stay there, tank that, keep going on his mission as a Nubarak.
Yeah. A Nubarak also brings in some decent dive potential against the Gul'dan and Oriole, but yeah, I think you're right. I think Trick Esports is in a good spot to actually hold against the Nubarak pressure that comes his way. So what Synergy will need to happen is that Johanna or Dahaka gets too aggressive on their backline for a Nubarak to be effective, but it can be a big deal here. Oriole's heals are also more bursty, more than just kind of sustaining you through a subject. So if the sustained damage from a Nubarak actually works out, and Oriole doesn't get much damage built up because her crown's somewhere else or Gul'dan's not able to get Qs off, a Nubarak can be a pain. So I could see the thought process there. I think I would have preferred a more hard engage, but with Johanna be on their side to clear that up, I can see why Synergy didn't want to try that route.
Yeah, I can get on board with that. Overall, I think I'm gonna kind of lean to Trick Esport. I think that they have a good composition here that kind of hits the best of both worlds that I wanted from them.
Yeah.
Not too many warriors, some good damage behind it, not necessarily access to cleanse, which there's a lot of lockdown on the other side here, but maybe they can overcome that.
They can overcome it because they have the Falstad, which is the other part too. When a Nubarak does dive in, knock all other 4 members back. Granted, Murder can jump in, but what's Malfurion and Jaina going to do? And then a Nubarak can get focused down by the Falstad. It's most likely going to go Season Marksman auto-attack build here just to burn it away. So, yeah, I think I lean more towards Trick Esport too. But I can see the wheels turning for Synergy.
Do you know that would be a really fun kind of Heroes of the Storm themed game that you could play with friends?
Bang?
I have no clue what you just said.
Oh my gosh, that's an amazing game. Let's go into game 1 and you can tell me about this. Let's start it out here. It's going to be Braxis Holdout. You haven't heard of Heroes Bang?
Bang. Heroes Bang.
Oh my gosh.
I think I saw it on the table.
Before you leave, I'm gonna show you that video game.
Let's do our intros then. It is over to the left-hand side. We have Team Synergy with Neon going to be playing Jaina. We will have Sir Ice Cream playing Tychus. Also, Hydra will be on the Anuba rack. Then we do have Sevka playing Malfurion, and finally Power of Dreams on Muradin.
To the far right, here they are, straight to eSport. Nape will be showing off his Ario gameplay. Alex the Prodigy showing us more into Haka. He's done it a few times the last couple of weeks. Crosby will be showing off the Gul'dan Eternal on the Johanna. Interesting to see Eternal on the Johanna. And then Rimmerballer here for Falstad.
So what I wanted to say was, you play Heroes of the Storm Charades with your friends, and you have to guess the ability name. So you can only just move around for the ability name and do actions.
I feel like only casters would want to play that game because they get to learn stuff.
That or Heroes. That would make it a little bit easier, I suppose.
Yeah, but Heroes would be more
Yeah.
casual based, which is the way to go about it. You know, you got to make your game accessible to everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to play that game.
Let's play that game.
Let's play that game.
Let's do it.
One day.
At our next clash, we'll play it with some people in the crowd. Sit at the front. All right, so the clear here for Crosby is going to be actually very, very exciting here with Nabe just in the background, giving him that crown. He looks pretty, but he also puts out a lot of damage, and that gives Nabe a lot of that energy here to bring that healing.
Yeah, and actually Johanna going very heavy, like, health regen sustain here for Eternal, so Regeneration Master is the level 1 choice. Oftentimes, because now Night Takes Pawn is built into Johanna since a long time ago, you see the block a lot, but against the composition that we're seeing here, I don't mind this, because really, what auto attacks are you blocking on that side? It's Jaina that's doing the damage, it's Tychus that's doing damage, but that's very fast, so that will chew through the block stacks very quickly. So I like this adaptation from Eternal.
Yeah, and it's almost guaranteed. Ariel and Gul'dan the Dream Machine, that is correct. Giant Robot B. Awesome name, by the way.
Giant Robot B.
Yes, Johanna is going to get guaranteed regen globes by the middle and the bottom.
I'm willing to bet that guy is a Mega Man fan.
Yeah?
There are giant Robot Bs in Mega Man.
Oh,
there you
probably
go.
Is. I can confirm it with you. Yeah. So Johanna just finishing this regen talent. She can do it very easily, especially with Gul'dan clearing the wave. They're going to have that wave control, which should equal regen control on the bottom lane here. So yes, good pickup from Eternal, and it makes a lot of sense, especially with Clarus' point of not having to deal with too much of the auto attackers. Even though Tychus can be a pain, they should be good to go. Yeah. Gul'dan is engaged upon. Nape will knock it away, and he gets eliminated there. Neon with the Cold of Code and the Blizzard will help finish that kill.
I'll tell you something, Jaina has a heart of ice because she did not care.
And she walked away afterwards. She's like, easy.
Yeah, she just like brushed her shoulder off. The little specks of frost on her shoulder, they fly off.
Yeah, they did. Turned on her boombox, listened to Frozen, killed it. Gul'dan, good day here for Jaina. Alex the Pro-G is fighting with Rimmer here on Power and Hydra. They get taken out of the fight there. That damage is so helpful there from Rimmer to help make sure that they don't lose too much beacon progress after that Gul'dan death.
All right, Eternal at the front, soaking up a lot of damage. Tychus, jeez, chews through things. The funny disadvantage is that, yes, once Regeneration Master for Johanna is finished up, she's going to have more health, but then Tychus technically does more damage.
I think you're banking more on just having the ability to get out of Jaina.
Yeah,
you know? It's kind of a calculated risk, right? If Tychus is burning his minigun on your Johanna, maybe you have a chance for your Dahaka.
I mean, it equalizes out, right? Because you've got more health, so it doesn't really matter. It's just a funny little thing that kind of occurs in that interaction between the two.
What if they were so good they didn't grab another regen globe after they got however many right before that SNR to stay away from that health, but they get the regen going? Oh, man. That's crazy. That's crazy.
That'd be some next level weird interactions.
And then they finish it when they go for a core rush. Oh, such calculated play.
Wow. Wow. Next level Heroes of the Storm.
That's right. So clearing continues to happen here, and luckily for Synergy, they have their own decent clear too with Jaina here on the left. Crosby just gets the advantage of working in his Fell Flames and getting more damage on that back line compared to Jaina, where hers is more telegraphed, more in one slot.
And just trying to wrestle away this at the moment. No percent on either side at the moment. That's going to be a good lockdown on towards Power of Dream there. Neon taking a lot of damage. Eternal is going in hard for that one. Here comes Alex the Pro-G as well. Looks for a drag. Power of Dream manages to Dwarf Toss away. Really avoiding that. They're going to get a few percent here. Falstad's going flying towards the top here. He was hoping to get up there just in time to delay the Hydra capture, but was not successful. So just a 8% to start.
Not bad, facing up against double global here. Synergy still keeping the beacons in control and even grabbing some more of their own experience here. Dawkins rotating the top, but Crosby does get focused down. Nape in trouble as well. Should be able to retreat there, especially with the heal being available. Luckily at level 7, Oriel should be able to grab the reduced healing duration, or the cooldown at least, and that will give them the chance to actually save gold in there, because she had enough energy. Sadly, she already used her heal earlier and didn't have the ability to drop down the heal.
Yeah, so at 7 she will get that reduced with the level 1, of course. It synergizes so well. The one thing that stands out already is that Crosby is sitting around a little too much, draining hope, thinking that it's going to keep him alive, but Synergy is exploiting the fact that Crosby is sitting around for a little bit too long and punishing him for it. The last 2 kills have been him in dubious locations, just popped, absolutely popped.
That's a good point. One of the things that is so beneficial of having Oriel is you don't have to use that drain hope so much. Because you have that battery to back you up, all you need to do is do damage and keep tapping in your own life, and Oriel will keep you topped off. So be careful with those drain hopes and be willing to walk away. Don't get too greedy. Remember here, we'll hit the hammering on Hydra. Hydra on the right side as well. Power helping out as well at the same time. But the thing is that's the problem with the new brackets. He just dies to auto attacks. Dahaka getting free auto attacks the entire time. Rimmer here to finish off the Murd and possible pickoff. Nice dodge by Power.
That was great patience by Power of Dream. What a good play up there to just keep himself stabilized, not give in to the taunting of Falstad to try and push him off, and he secured 100% for his team. Really good.
And a good dodge on the hammering too.
Yeah.
Had he not dodged that, there could have been a spot where Falstad got the kill and maybe just stopped the turn in. However, big turn in here for Synergy, and he is delayed.
Remmer with the Banelings. Oh, that's so sad that he got delayed there, but oh well. Because he could have flown in with full mana and actually had an easier time cleaning this up, but that's not to be right now, as a little mishap here. Not the best start for Tricked eSport, as Power of Dreams is going to come in and try and block something, but that's a lot of damage he's going to sustain. An attempt from Nape to whip Sir Ice Cream into the wall. Does not work.
Continuing the poke on the side, and Nubrak has rotated the bottom here as all 4 members on the top lane pushing in the fort, but this is another reason why Gul'dan can be powerful on this battleground. The clear here on the Mercenaries, or the push from the Hydra, is just too much. Nape also there to help out with the clear at the same time. Alex Aprochi going for a charge on the Hydra, but here's an engage. Neon gets the Kona Cold, gets the Blizzard. Crosby will retreat. Eternal steps up to protect his teammates. Good fight here from Tricked eSport. Good positioning from Eternal.
Yeah, absolutely loved it. So in terms of that wave clear, etc. Of course, they have lost those both walls, so it's not exactly the most brilliant thing. So looking at the experience disparities, I'm wondering where on earth Tricked eSport has kept up. There's been... Do they have any walls? I don't think they do, right? They don't have any towers down.
No, but they did get a couple of kills, which has been enough.
But just 1 against 2.
Yeah,
it's so somehow, some way, they must have got some better soaks somewhere at the top lane when, say for example, Power of Dream or the Anubarak has been just kind of sat on the shrine.
There was a moment where Hydra had to back because he got pushed in by both Falstad and Dahaka, and then Dahaka rotated bottom, so they may have had some experience that was missed there. Still, Synergy holding on though. Another one closer to 10. Power goes into a jump, does turn around and looks at Rimmer though.
That was an ambitious jump considering he just burnt his Stormball. But that's going to be Malfurion falling there. Caught out on the attempt through. Everyone was going through and she got caught off the back. Or he got caught off the back. Why am I saying she? That was weird.
Torres had a couple of ambitious jumps already in the series. This is the 4th one in a row that I've kind of questioned, so he seems to be kind of antsy here. You know, take a breather. He's set up. If you want to go for the jump, save your Stormball. Jump first and then hit the Stormball, right?
Yeah. All right, so let's see. What do we have coming in? We have Ring of Frost, Commandeer Odin, and Avatar, and then still waiting on Malfurions as well as Anubaraks. Then on the other side, of course, Adaptation Crystal Aegis. That's going to be the Shield, as well as Horrify and Mighty Gust.
Nubrak still deciding on his level 10. I think Carrion Form is the way to go. I can see Cocoon working, as always, but I think Carrion Swarm is the way to go here. You get that dive in, you jump in the back line, you get on top of that Gul'dan, and you force the opponents to deal with you, and then save as much as you can for when the False Mighty Gust might come your way. Beacon phase has now begun for both teams, and that is a focus here. Aegis does pop out. Ring of Frost is pretty massive here. Crosby is hit. The Cocoon has been chosen, though, but Sevka in the back left is getting poked down. So is Neon. Wonderful counterattack here from Tricked eSport.
The condemn into AoE damage coming out from Tricked eSport was brutal there. And you know what's even funny? Is that some of that damage was contributed by Auriel because everybody was so grouped up. Her level 1 talent kicks in there with a lot of hope that she'd built up through Gul'dan's AoE. So that really gives rise to the issue of if Synergy do group up like that, they're going to get melted.
Melted they did. Who else is getting melted here? Hydra on the left here. Rimmer bringing in the damage as well as the Dahaka. Trick Esports controlling this phase of the beacons much better here. Building up their own progress at 34% for the moment. Should have it for a bit longer. Power does show up to contest the area. Here's Eternal as well to hold down the top lane. Synergy looking for a possible engage. They do need to be careful though. They don't have Ring of Frost for 20 seconds. Twilight Dream is available and so is Odin. Nubrak is rotating to the top, so they are looking for a fight, and they are looking for one soon. Here comes Hydra. He dives on in.
Oh, that's a great Horrify as well. A couple were actually taunted, and that's going to be even a brilliant little gust with that Hammerang coming in to finish off Jaina as Rema Baller comes in from the perfect angle to secure kills, and they're looking for Hydra. He should fall.
He is low. He's going to dive on out. Alex Aproji still in the front line, but still much better team fights here from Trick Esports. They got the great Horrify when we saw the dive from a Nubrak, and then the fall open the Mighty Gust to shove them into the back right corner, securing them an instant win there in the fight. And now Hydra is forced to run to the bottom here to grab the beacon, and they'll delay it here at 88%, but only 12% more needed for Trick Esports. If they win one more team fight or get one more pick, they'll definitely take this phase of Zerg.
I mean, they could in theory force them off this anyway. There's like level 13 against level 12 right now, with Ariel going for level 13 Piercing Lash. She has the potential because there's been all of these fights from Synergy have been super grouped up, so she can actually hit multiple members now away from those locations, and they could have wrestled them off there, I feel.
That's helpful too. With a Nubrak, you know he's going to be in the back line no matter what. So if you get the Pierce on that and hit whoever is nearby as well, double the value can be great here for Ariel. So interesting pickup from Nape. Let's see if they'll make it work out for him. Power goes for the Stormbolt, will not connect. Alex Aproji comes in from behind. He is just sitting on Sefka. Sefka just trying to live. And at the same time, his team is getting eliminated in the front line. And Nubrak's Cocoon will go out. Doesn't really do too much for the team. There is a 1-for-1 trade. Sir Ice Cream on the left side. Age is being used. Sefka still low on health. Still running. Rimmer going for the chase. The hammering will connect, but he's still living here. Hydra on the left. And finally, Trick Esports is starting to take this fight as they will get the Malfurion. He falls victim. Trick Esports taking out 3 members of Synergy.
Malfurion cornered. Spare me, but that's not going to happen. And overall, it's interesting because they keep shutting down Jaina early on in these fights. And they're doing so via Horrify and Gust to the point where Neon had almost 0 control over his hero for a good 8 seconds and then just dies.
And here's the problem is Power is going for the engages. He's dropping these Stormbolts, but none are connecting. And the moment that they don't connect, you see a call from Trick Esports, go for a hard engage. And Jaina, who is hoping to follow up that Stormbolt for her Ice Lance or even get a corner cold, is left with a dry and she gets picked off. Power needs to be hitting these Stormbolts, or they need to play more reserved and wait for the fight to come to them.
And that's going to be Alex trying to come on to the left-hand side here against Synergy as they're trying to slow down any kind of movement here. Ultralisks have Berserk, so they don't actually even get rooted there, while some of the other little Zergs do. And Power Dream going to move forward there for a second. Good Blizzard on towards the 3 Guardians at the back, because they do so much if they don't go unchecked. So a good cleanup, but level 16 is on the way here for Trick Esports.
Yeah, they're pretty far ahead right now. All they have to do is keep map control. Don't give up a scenario where the opposing team can move in for an engage, grab their next talent tier, and keep mercenary pushes. That's all they have to do, and they are continuing to do so. Rimmer and Alex Aproji are set up. However, Power and the rest of his crew is looking for an engage. They dive in here. Hydra burrows on the ground. Dahaka locked down. There's the tunnel. Mighty Gust does pop out, and there will be the adaptation as well from Dahaka, so they'll be able to escape the Hellbat stolen here for Synergy.
Ambitious and not going to work. At least they got 2 heroics out of them, right? At least they got the Gust and the adaptation, as you're mentioning. So that's okay. Jaina building up a lot of shields with her ability power because at level 13 she has gone for Ice Barrier. So Ice Barrier, when you're going up against a Zerg wave on this map, as Jaina actually builds up huge shields if you can get away with just having some freedom, like with the Blizzard being doing a lot of damage to them. So that can definitely help in the team fights to come.
Bold play here from Synergy with Mighty Gus being down, being used in the last fight. They're assuming they can grab it. Power being focused down. Because Kuhn does hit here. Hydra on the thing, but the knockback here from Nape is solid enough. The fear from Sefka is going to be hit here as Crosby hits that fear. The big ring of frost. Ice Cream starting to stand on it, but the focus from Trick Esports is a little too much. They wipe the entire team of Synergy and now can push with this boss, head top lane and grab a keep.
An ambitious move. They were trying to get it just before 16 hit, and Trick Esport was kind of caught unaware and off guard. Eternal with the read, with the run to that location. They're going to take themselves keep. It looks like they're just moving to core. Eternal was initially positioning for that, but I think that's ambitious with the 10 seconds coming up now.
It certainly is, especially with that Falset being there. If Falset there, maybe you can do a Mighty Gus, push them back and get him to hammer on that core. The safer play is to pull back.
Yeah, you could, in theory, just take everything. You could take this hard camp here as Trick Esport and then just be like, well, okay, then that's fine. We've got so much pressure on you now. You'll have to clean that up while you're soaking 16, and we'll take beacons too.
Trick Esport looking much more clean here in this series than we've seen in the past. Their Ice Cream is in trouble. The Mighty Gus 3 slammed against the wall here. The root will be solid, but the drag is even better from Alex Pro G. Neon on the right side bursted down from the fight. Alex Pro G is looking for more power in the front, going to help out his team so he can at least have 4 living here. But if Sefka dies, that is going to be a dead Druid and now a dead wall, as Synergy is being pushed in by Trick Esport.
Put that Druid in nice block and melt him away, because unfortunately that poor Malfurion got just destroyed there. This boss is still alive, still pretty healthy. That's another drag coming in from Trick Esport. 1, 2, 3. That's a third going down as Muradin will fall. And now Synergy absolutely on the ropes. Very little left here. They have nothing to be able to really defend this. Thankfully, Jaina comes back up, and Trix is going to slow down a little bit.
There is a boss pushing, there is 5 members of eSport pushing, and there's also a Zerg wave pushing in the lane here as well. This is such a deadly moment for Synergy. There is the Zerg, there's Alex Aprochi, adaptation has been popped, but Trick Esport just needs to play patient. Get on this core, there it goes, it's dropping down in health. Neon has to hit God tier 2s. Here's Falstad. Can he hit the Mighty Gus and knock a few back? He doesn't even need to, but he does, and there's the core. Trick Esport takes game number 1 in this best of 5 series.
And good, solid position for them to start off their campaign here in this series.
Yeah.
Some of the earlier pickoffs of Gul'dan looked sketchy, but once they kind of got his positioning down a little further, kept him in the back line a bit, kept him healthy, used less Siphon Life compared to just using Oriel to keep him alive. Very good, very good.
Solid play overall from Trick Esports. They seem determined. We'll see if they can continue being so determined as we go into game number 2. We'll be right back.